Hey everybody. So I'm gonna just do just audio today, this type of video. Cause I have a few things that I've been wanting to talk about for a couple of days, and right now is probably the only little bit of time I'm gonna have to get stuff out. So there's been a few events that have taken place within the past, I would say, couple of weeks or so. So you had this young woman named Vanessa Gillen, who was killed on a military base, and my sister had told me about this story. Oh wow, I think it was either the end of last week, or no, it might have been early this week, right? And I did an entire video on it, and I didn't upload it. And the reason why was because I was like, there's more to this story. And even the little bit that I already had read, from what my sister told me, that by that point, they still hadn't found her yet. I was like, there's more to this story. And I have a feeling that she's gone. I have a feeling that she was killed already. Because the story that my sister told me was that the young woman has been what she sent me was the young woman has been missing since I believe it was April. And when I read the details of it, I was like, yeah, there's definitely more to this, right? And I believe that she is gone. Then there was more stories that came out about her. I think it was a couple of days after that. Well, not necessarily about her, but about the case. And it was about one of the, at the time, they thought it was a suspect that might have been a part of it, right? So the cops found the guy. They ran after the guy. And what ended up happening was the guy pulled out a gun and he shot himself. So he committed suicide. Okay. So then there was that. And I found that very strange when I heard that. Then days after that, more stories come out. And it turns out that they're saying that the man that killed himself was the one who ended up killing this woman. So she is gone. They found her remains. And what he ended up doing was he bludgeoned her to death. He hit her over the head and then he chopped up her body. And then there was a woman accomplice. And the news said that there was an accomplice and she basically helped him dispose of the body, like hide the body and whatnot, right? And so far, that's what I saw. Even now, I'm still like, I don't know why. I just have the feeling that there's more people that know about it. Just the fact that, the dude just killed. I'm not saying that he didn't do it, but the fact that he kills himself and then that's just it, And it's like, how is it that nobody knows about this? And the reason why I say that is because there's supposedly with this base, there's a history of funny things and deaths that have happened with this base. That's what leads me to believe that it's not just this guy that was involved. Because if it was just this guy that was involved, then what about all the other stuff that's happened in the past with other people? Well, these other deaths, right? So in me, I'm like, I think there's more to this case. So that even now, and that's why I was like holding off, because the minute I saw the first story, I was like, nah, there's more to this story than this. And then the other topic that I'm gonna kind of get into with it is, one of the main reasons why I think that I know that a couple of Latin people, or I know of one actually, let me rephrase that, who has actually posted the story on his community feed, which was great. But I think that people may have found they may find it at this time, it's almost like anything that happens to Latin people, especially if it's done, if the person who is committing the crime against the Latin person is a black person, let's say, we're in such, things are so sensitive right now. Everything is so racially charged right now that I think that a lot of Latin people just don't even want to touch stories like this. Stories like the elote lady from I don't know, a couple of months ago. Then there was an elote man recently that got hit over the head. Then somebody mentioned to me in one of my comment sections about an ice cream man that was killed, right? And, it's a shame because all of these crimes probably weren't racially motivated, Okay. They probably weren't. I definitely believe that the story with the young woman wasn't racially motivated. From what I saw, she was also going to file a sexual harassment case against the man who killed her. And supposedly that was what set him off. And then he ended up killing her, chopping up her body and disposing of her body. And that was supposedly, from what I read, what it was that set him off. And also, the other thing that kind of it made me think of too is when it comes to, the Me Too movement. I know I'm kind of bouncing into different things, and you probably hear my daughter going crazy right now. One of the things that kind of one of the things that get to me is, you got stories of things that happen with women, and because there were so many, like, when it comes to like this Me Too movement, and there were so many women that you ended up finding out that were falsely accusing somebody of doing something, but then when something really happens and a case is proven, or in this case the man ended up killing this woman, nobody wants to talk about that. And that's the problem that I get so upset with when it comes to any type of like anything that's dealing with sexual harassment. It's like when things really do happen, it's like it's never highlighted. What's highlighted is these dumb women out there who falsely accuse somebody of something, and then that just paints the picture to everyone. Oh, most women are falsely accusing somebody of doing something. And in this case, look, this woman is dead. So this woman is dead. This woman is dead, and this guy committed suicide. And honestly, if he's the one that chopped up her body, then good riddance. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I genuinely feel like there's more to it, because how is it that there's other crimes that happen on that base? Hopefully what I'm saying is making sense to other people. It's like, to me, it's like there's other culprits involved that are still on the base, that are probably maybe high ranking to me, because how is it that there's other weird things that have happened on that base before? Weird deaths, missing people, right? I'm just saying. So to me, it just seems like there's got to be more to it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It just sounds like there's more to it than just this guy and just that young woman helping him to dispose of the body. So, I just wanted to kind of like touch base with everyone really quickly with regards to all of these different things. And, then with the elote man, and then with this ice cream guy getting killed, a lot of these things sound like these like robberies, like little petty robbery things. And, it's messed up, but it's like, it's almost like it's a shame, because with everything that's going on around this time, it's like if you do talk about it, people are going to make it a racial issue, and it may not necessarily be a racial issue. Okay. And it doesn't sound like any of these things are racial issues, but because racial tensions are so high, people are using these things as a means to create racial tensions. That's just my opinion. Okay. Also, at the same time, I think it's what we can't do either, as Latin people, is when things happen to us, or when things happen to our people, right? That doesn't mean that we should stay silent about them out of fear either. Okay. So we can't do that either. So you have to find like to me, it's like finding a right balance of how to speak about things. And it's a shame that, these stories don't go as mainstream as they should, especially with this Vanessa Guillen case. Like, I heard about it, but it didn't seem like it made that big of news the way I would have expected it to, But again, that whole I know I keep saying the same thing over again, but that whole case, I still feel like there's more people involved. I feel like there's more people involved, and it wasn't just that guy. Something is telling me it wasn't just that guy. Doesn't mean that he wasn't trying, he wasn't sexually harassing her, because he probably was. Doesn't mean any of that. But, if he killed himself and they found that he disposed of her body, but I still feel like there's other people that were involved with that. Something in me feels like there was more people involved with that, and they're still alive, and they're high ranking, and it's like nobody could touch them. I got that sense. And it kind of goes back to, I know that it might sound strange, but it kind of also ties into this whole police brutality bit, where you have people, again, that are high ranking in these high positions, and you got people within our government that are protecting certain people. Now I'm going to kind of get into something that I wasn't going to get into, and I know people have been talking about it, which is defunding the police. And in New York City, that's something that they're actually doing. I said I didn't want to touch this topic. Okay, it isn't something else I also didn't want to touch. Because when I was first hearing about it, I was questioning it a lot. Because, you hear everybody, like, a lot of people are kind of just jumping on the bandwagon and like, it's stupid, it's stupid, it's stupid. I thought it was also stupid, okay? Because to me, what's happening is that's not solving the problem. The problem is the system that's protecting the cops. But what people are doing is they're taking the stuff out on the cops, on all cops, right? To assume that all cops or most cops are all bad. It's not that they're necessarily good or bad. They're doing a job that they were trained to do, and they are protected and backed by a system that's going to protect them if they do something, if they kill an unarmed, black person, Latin person, right? So to me, the bigger problem is fixing the system and not the cops. That was what I thought from the very beginning. And I didn't want to get into the whole defunding the police thing because, everybody's kind of on that now, that it's stupid. And I do think it's stupid, but I don't know if I necessarily think it's stupid for maybe the same reasons as everybody else does. Because I'm not one of those people that just thinks all cops are bad. I don't. I really don't think all cops are bad. But I think that they get a lot of protection, and that's why a lot of them have gotten away with all of these killings for forever. And I think, to me, that's what needs to be fixed. So now what's going to happen is that they're defunding the police. And then, I had these conversations with my husband, and he was like, well, what they're going to do with that then is that the money that's going to go for, taking away, money for taking away, a certain amount of cops from New York City, let's say, that money is going to go elsewhere, and it's going to go to these inner city communities. And from what I'm reading, that's not what's happening. And that's what I figured. And that's what I was concerned about, because all that's going to happen now. So they took away cops. You would hope that they would have taken the money and allocated it to, these inner city communities, to maybe the education system, or maybe social workers and stuff like that help people within these communities. But that's not what's happening. And I had a feeling that that's what was going to happen. So when everybody was kind of chanting for this defund the police, I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good idea, because I have a feeling that whatever money is going to come from that, where they're taking away from that, is going to be put somewhere else, and it's not going to be put in our communities. And I felt that from the beginning, and I was right. So that's why I was like, I don't know about that. Not because I love cops, not because I think that we should all, have cops everywhere. No, but because I had a feeling that you're going to take away cops from certain neighborhoods that probably need it. And then money that was going to be used to employ these cops, to train these cops, you would think people were hoping that it was going to go somewhere else, and that's not what's happening. Okay, if anybody could correct me if I'm wrong. So if you guys have read otherwise, and maybe from the article that I read about it, I think it was from New York Times that I read it. It didn't sound like that, like they're taking money and putting it into our communities. That doesn't sound like that at all. So, but if anybody knows anything else, then let me know. Maybe I misread something. Maybe I misunderstood something. Please feel free to let me know. That goes for anything else that I talk about. If I'm misunderstood about something, please let me know. But that's just my take with the whole defunding the police thing. Again, I don't necessarily have anything, and I kind of think of other case scenarios where it's like, okay, so sorry about my voice. My voice is like starting to crack, I guess, for talking for so long. My other thing is, like, I think of like cops for like not even necessarily people doing things to each other, but like, what if it's a different emergency? Like, what if you get into a car accident and you're like in a road on a road by yourself in the middle of the night, and you get into an accident, like you smack into it. I don't know. I'm thinking of like just anything that may not necessarily have anything to do with people fighting each other. But now there's less cops. The fewer cops that are going to be left behind are going to be getting certain types of overtime. We don't know how much more these fewer cops are going to be stressed more now than they already were. And it just might make tensions worse. Not giving them an excuse. Who knows? you know? So I'm thinking of all of these different case scenarios, like where you may need a cop that may not necessarily have anything to do with certain crime. It may be something that you just need just for, just other emergencies, right? And so I think of things like that too. I think of things like that too. And now there's just going to be less of them, right? And of course, what's going to end up happening is they're going to take them away from certain areas that are probably going to need it. And then the few cops that are going to be left are probably going to be put in these rich areas, right? To protect those people, especially with what's going on right now. So to me, that's probably what's going to happen. The majority of the cops are going to be in the richer areas protecting the wealthy people in New York or New York City, right? That's just my take. So I know that this was like a little bit of a ramble. I kind of went into different things. As always, I hope, everything that I said made sense. I hope that you guys enjoy your 4th of July, even with all that's going on in this country right now. Try to, I don't know, just try to enjoy yourself. Have fun with your family. We're having family coming over today, and we're going to be doing some barbecuing, some cooking and whatnot. So that's going to be our day. So I hope you guys all enjoy your day, and I hope that you're all well, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.